Welcome to the first video of this course, and we are gonna be creating the head in this video. And then actually not the entire head, we're not gonna be completing it, we're just going to be blocking it out. And because we have to do some R&D in the design, I don't know if the head we are gonna be sculpting in this video is going to be the final one, because in the future I am gonna be just start changing the proportions. Basically I'm gonna design the head as well. So in this video we are just gonna be blocking it. In the next video we are probably going to be blocking out the body, and then in the future videos we're gonna start refining everything so that we basically can use that for production. Now one of the things that I want to show you is I have a pure ref file, as you can see, which I think all of you should have, where I have all of my references. You can see that I have references for muscles, I have references for proportions, I have skull references, I also have some stylized references which I feel like that, I mean every good sculpt I just save them. I have references regarding some of the older projects that I've did, so you can just ignore that. And yeah, you can see the references, I have the scans, so multiple of those actually. If I can show it to you, you can see that I have scans right over here. See, so yeah, you can see I have some older people, I have some of the skin detailed references, I have some of the lips, I don't know, I mean these are like pretty old images, pretty old references. So you're gonna find basically everything right here, and we're gonna be using this file so that I just wanna explain you everything, right? If I wanna explain you muscles, I'm gonna be opening this pure ref file, and I'm gonna give you a version of this file. Don't you worry, I'm gonna remove all the personal project ones. For example, I'm gonna remove the Thors and stuff, and I'm gonna give you this file so that you basically have a reference in one place, right? You'll have the proportions, you have the muscles and everything. So we're gonna be using this, and first thing that we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be using the skull actually, and because we're making a head, I guess it is important to use the skull as a reference. So first thing first, let's just go into the sculpt mode and let's enable the proportions. Oh sorry, not proportions but the symmetry. And you can see that skull itself is not spherical, right? You can clearly see it is not spherical, it is kind of a helmet like shape, which means we're gonna have to do the same. So I'm just going to be pushing it down like this, right? And we're gonna be pushing it in, so we kinda get a shape similar to the skull. So it is pretty important to do that actually, otherwise it is just not gonna look good. And also remember that our character is gonna be skinny, and his head is going to be a little bit longer. Because it's a stylized character, we can just do that. So I have done that. I think I've did it a bit too much. I'm going to push it up, and let's just make a skull kind of a shape. So I'm just trying to make a helmet kind of a shape. You can see this shape basically. So a sphere on the top part, and then just do this. Let's just do that. It would be easier for you to understand that way. So you can see that I have this. I can use the scrape brush and basically just scrape down this area like this and basically create a jaw. So you can see that we have created a jaw in the bottom area, and if you want to, you can just look at your reference and basically just fix this. So for example, if you were to look at the skull from the side, you can see this angle right over here, and you can just mark the same thing. Oh, by the way, if you were to talk about the proportion, the jaw comes into the middle. So let's just say that this is the middle, right? You can just mark the jaw like this, and it is going to be your middle area. Now I am just marking this. In the future I'm going to be removing all the things, all these lines that you are seeing, but just for the sake of marking I'm doing that. And now if you want to, you can just pull this out a little bit, so something like this, and basically create a jaw. If you want to, you can just use the sharper fall off and just do that. But I know that the character of the character that I'm designing is not gonna have that sharp of a jaw, so I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, you can see that we basically have just created a nice looking jaw already. And yeah, this is going to be the first step of our skull. Now the second thing is, you can see that this bottom area does not actually exist, so we're gonna have to remove all the extra bit that we have over here. So I'm gonna use the clay strip brush and I'm gonna start removing. So yeah, by the way, all of these proportions are for real head obviously, but in our case we are creating a stylized character. So you're gonna see that I'll actually play around with the proportions a little bit, but yeah, if you are creating a real head, don't do that. Okay, now the next important thing is, if you were to look at a skull from the top, so this is the front area, right? You're gonna realize that it have a egg-like shape. So we're gonna have to do that. You can see it is broad over here. So we're gonna do that, and we already kind of have the same shape. It is just upside down. This is the front area. So we already have that shape, which means that we are actually good to go. So yeah, it's pretty nice. And now let's mark the eyes. So the eyes comes in the middle as well. This is where the eyes are supposed to be, and it is approximately in the middle. So I'm just gonna be using the clay strip brush and start marking the eye. You can see that we basically have an angle to it, right? So you can see that we have an angle and it is going down a little bit. So you can see it is basically this kind of an angle. I'm not really drawing this good, but you get the idea. So we're gonna have to do the same over here as well. And I'm gonna be using the clay strip brush and right over here in the middle, approximately in the middle. We can always change the proportions. You don't have to be super accurate in the start. I'm just gonna do that, and I feel like I can use a little bit of resolution. So what I'll do, I'll just go to point I guess 0.5. I'm going to halve the resolution so that we basically get something to work with, right? And from the side, yeah, it is important to basically look at your reference from all the angles. We basically just need to match all this stuff. So you can see that we have this straight going on. So I'm just gonna do that, basically push it out and push this part back, and we have the same thing going on. So that's pretty nice. I guess it is quite good enough. We can actually push this back and create this kind of a thing. So right now I'm just showing you everything that I possibly can, because if you are a beginner, I feel like it is gonna help you out a lot. And let's just create something like this. I can maybe I can use the inflate and just push this back a little bit so that it would be easier for you to understand. And we have created the eye socket. So this is the first thing that we have created, and it looks kind of good. Now the next thing would be the cheekbones. So cheekbones are going to be your continuous kind of a line right over here, which means that this is what we basically want to create. And the one of the coolest thing about the cheekbone is that you can see this hole over here. This is where the ears are gonna be. So cheekbone just goes right to the ear area, and we just gonna do that as well. And yeah, let's just do that. So you can see that we have the cheekbone, and from this view, the cheekbone is supposed to be the continuous part of this line. So we're gonna be doing that. And yeah, let's just push it out a little bit. And yeah, this is what we have. So I'm just going to push it back a little bit actually. Okay, now from the side view, you can see cheekbones basically does not go that forward. Like this does not happen. So we're gonna have to push this back a little bit. You can see right over here. So we're gonna be pushing it back until around here. Okay, I'm going to change the fall off to smooth. And yeah, this is where the cheekbones are supposed to be. So you can clearly see this is what we have. And now all the extra stuff that we have, I'm gonna just remove it. We're gonna be filling it up later. Right now we don't really need it, so I'm just gonna be removing that. And we can just push out the nose actually. So yeah, let's just do that. Just push out the nose. Something like this is, I think, going to work fine. Right now I'm not really thinking about the proportions as much, because I know in the future I'm gonna do a whole lot of R&D. So you can see we have the cheekbone. Now one of the thing about the cheekbone is, if you were to look at it from the top view or from the bottom, you're gonna realize that this part is going to be the broadest one, and it have a curvy kind of a shape. In our case, the shape is opposite, so we're gonna have to push it out kind of like this. And yeah, just do that. And this is basically how the shape of the cheekbone is supposed to be. We're gonna have to push it back a little bit. Yeah, the next thing would be we're gonna have to add these ridges, right? You can see these ridges right over here, so we can just do that. So let's just add those. And the easiest way to actually add these area is to use a draw sharp brush and basically create a C kind of a shape like this, right? So you can see right over here, and then you can just add this particular part. So if you were to look at it from the side, you can see that we have this particular thing going on. I have totally forgotten the name of it. I think it's the temporal line. Is that what it's called? I've forgotten. I should not have forgotten, but you basically add that. And now all you need to do is you need to use your smooth brush, lower down the strength. I am already at 0.4, and just smooth things out slightly. Don't do it too much, otherwise you're going to lose all the details. And you can see we were actually able to create a nice looking shape right over here. So that's pretty nice. And now the next thing would be to actually just remove some of this stuff, because again the guy is skinny, so we're gonna have to remove that. And okay, wait, we can also add the ears. Ears are pretty important, so I'm just going to fill up this area. And ears are going to start from here. So you can see this is the whole of the ear, right? If I were to mark it, approximately here is where the whole of the ear is. So I'm going to be using the mask tool, and then I'm going to be just marking out the ear like this. And the shape of the ear is kind of in the question mark, so I'm just going to be creating a question mark kind of a shape like this, right? And I'm just going to pull it out. I think I can scale down the ear a little bit. And yeah, yes, let's just do that. And now I'm just going to invert the mask, use the grab brush and push it out. I hope that if you are a beginner, it is making sense on what I'm doing. And if you feel like that the explanation is not that great, then you can actually just ask me the question. But I feel like I'm explaining you almost everything that I'm doing. Okay, let's just smooth out the ear. Press Alt M and we have the ears. So from the front, I guess we can push out the ears a little bit. I am just exaggerating it a little bit because again it's a stylized character and we can do that. But if it was a real human being, a real human head, it would be harder for us to do it. I mean, it would be impossible for us to do it. But because it's stylized, we basically have all the right to do it, or the flexibility. Actually, flexibility is a better word. Okay, so I'm just going to push down the what do you even call it, the outer area, and just remesh it. So we have the ears, and we're just gonna have to fix some of the things. So maybe I'll just do the ears later. So we have this going on, and now we can add the mouth. So let's just use the clay strip brush, and for the mouth it is important to make sure that it is a roundy kind of a shape. You can see that we have the teeth, and the teeth are going to be like this. So the mouth area is just gonna surround the teeth, which means the front part is supposed to be cylindrical. If I can show it to you, let's just see. Yeah, you can clearly see the shape of the teeth right over here. It is cylindrical, and we also need to do that. So from the side view, if you were to look at the skull, you're gonna realize the teeth basically comes out a little bit. So we're gonna have to do that. Actually, we're gonna have to add that volume and make it cylindrical. So you can see it is cylindrical right now, and we have also added this volume. I can push this part back, and I can just push this part a little bit in front, and we have the volume for the teeth. I guess it is looking good. I can fix the volume actually. Let's just do that and make the cylinder a little bit narrow. So yeah, we have this. Let's just push it out a little bit more, and yeah, I think we have quite nice shape. So what I'll do, I'll actually just use the draw sharp brush, and in this case, for the mouth, you can just use any reference. For example, you have a reference like this where I have planes for the head, and I also have a reference like this. Okay, wait, it's not that good of a reference. Maybe a reference like this actually. So you can see, you can have a reference like this. So totally up to you. You basically just Google a human head, and you can just find multiple of those references. I guess we're gonna be looking at this one. So I'm gonna be creating this shape. So this V kind of a shape, and then this shape. But yeah, we don't have enough resolution to work with. So I guess I'm just going to be creating a line right now. In the future, when I increase the resolution, we can basically make some better lips. But right now we can actually try and make something like this. So I guess I should just increase the resolution. Actually right now it is just not working. You can see we don't have enough resolution. So before I do any of that, I am gonna be start adding some volumes right over here. So yeah, let's just do that. And yeah, nice. So we have this, and we also need to fill up this area. We've removed a bit too much of volume, so let's just do that, and let's just half down the resolution. So Control R, and now you can see we have a little bit more resolution. So right now we have the nostril, but it just does not look that good. And the best way to actually carve out the nostril is just use the throw sharp brush and basically do this, and then just do that. So mark your nostril out like this, and you can see that we have created the nostril. These are not that good, but with a little bit of moving things around, it is just gonna start looking good. So don't you worry about that. And just by moving things around, you're gonna be able to create nice looking nostrils. So yeah, you can see, and you can use inflate, and then start pushing this back a little bit. We still don't have enough resolution to make the nostrils, I guess, but we have carved them down a little bit, so that's pretty nice. Let's just from the side view start adding some volumes. I basically want the nose to be a little bit bigger, so I'm just gonna use the inflate and start adding that roundness to the nostrils, and start adding the roundness to this area as well. Sorry, these are the nostrils and these are the middle area. I'm not quite saying what I'm doing. So yeah, let's just smooth it out. You can actually get the reference from here as well if you want to. Oh yeah, we also need to do the lips. So one of the most important thing is, if you were to look at the mouth from the side, the upper lip are supposed to be in front and the bottom lip are supposed to be back. Right now we have opposite of that, so we're gonna have to fix it. And I'm just gonna use the lasso mask, and I'm just going to mask this out, and I'm going to use the grab brush and basically push it in front and push this in back. Okay, nice. So yeah, one more thing that I want to do, because it's an older character. Usually older people, if you were to look at older guy's face, you're gonna see that this area right over here, this angle, it actually just inverts and it comes in front. So if I were to just put it in front, it is gonna look like that he is an older guy, which is a little bit weird. Or maybe I can do it later, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I can do it later. Right now we can just do this and remove the mask, and let's just start making the lips a little bit better. So let's just go back to this reference again, and what I'll do, I'll actually just use the draw sharp and then just carve out this particular area. I guess we still don't have enough resolution to work with, but we'll still try. We can try if we can actually work things out. And yeah, I have just marked the upper lip and the lower lip, and let's just smooth it out. Okay, let's just also remove some volumes from here, right? And okay, let's just push it out. Also, we need to have a little bit of volume here. So right now, I guess we don't have enough resolution to properly create the lips. So what I'll do, I'll actually just focus on some other areas. For example, I am gonna be adding this muscle right over here that we have on the lips. Now, if you don't know this muscle, then I probably should have this over here. So you can see this muscle right over here is what I'm trying to add, like this. And you can just do it like this and then remove the inner area. So flatten this out. You can use the smooth. So you basically can see what I'm trying to get, and then use the draw sharp brush and basically add this. So yeah, we have this going on, and now we can smooth things out. So you can see this is what we have. And now we can, because he's an older character, we can add the this wrinkle, and I have totally forgotten the name of it. Oh, by the way, this particular wrinkle goes to the nose like this. If okay, it does not have it in the echo shape, but it goes to like, it goes to the front part of the nose and then it just goes down. So do that, and you can see that we have gotten this. Now we all need to do is we need to blend it with the back part of the face a little bit. So I'm just gonna do that, and yeah, you can see that we have gotten this wrinkle, and the lips are not great, but we're gonna have to increase the resolution in order to make the lips. I also need to smoothen this part out so that it blends with the nose a little bit better. The nose is also not that great, but again, we don't have enough resolution to make everything look proper. So the next thing would be the eyes, I guess. And we also need to, we're gonna have to polish everything else as well. That's the word. And I also need to change the proportions a little bit. So that is also important. And by the way, when you are creating the nose, sometimes people basically make this particular area and this particular area at the same place. For example, right over here, don't do that. The nostrils are supposed to be back and this part is supposed to be in front. So if you are doing the same mistakes, don't do that. And let's just push this back a little bit. And I definitely need to increase the resolution to make everything look better. But now we can actually just focus on the eyeball or the eye area. Well, first thing first that I want to do is, if you were to look at the skull, you're gonna realize that this part, this cheekbone area, is supposed to be pretty parallel to this. So we're gonna have to push this out. Actually, we're gonna have to push this out, and yeah, this is how it should supposed to be. And we're gonna have to push this in, so you can see how in it is. So we're gonna have to do that. And yeah, let's just do this. Nice. We can push this in, we can push this in. Basically just trying to make sure that it is anatomically correct. Even though it's a stylized character, we are going to be changing the proportions in the future. But in order to change the proportions, you also need to know what the correct proportions are, right? In order to break the rule, you need to know what the rules are. So this is basically the same thing. And now we're going to be drawing the eyelids. So for the eyelids, it is pretty simple. You just add the volume for the eyeball like this, and just look at it from the side and see if they are in the front. So if you were to look at a face from the side, you can see how much front, how much in front it could be. So I'm just gonna do that, and just add a little bit of more volume. So yeah, just do that. And I think this is good enough. So what I'll do now, I'll basically just mark out the opening of the eyeball, the lids. So you can see right over here, I can just, okay, I think I now need to increase the resolution. I feel like that we don't have enough resolution to work with. So I'm just gonna put this at 0.01 and press Ctrl R. Yeah, we have enough resolution now. We can now also fix the lips, but let's just do the eyelids. So I'm just gonna be marking out the opening like this, right? Let's just smooth it out a little bit first. It looks a little bit too weird. So I'm just gonna mark out the opening, and I'm just going to be removing this extra bit. So let's just push it back. We don't really need this part, so yeah, push it back, remesh it, push it back a little bit more. You can use the inflate if you want to, totally up to you. You can use the inflate and just push it back. So just do that. And now we have this. Obviously it's not the best looking eyelid ever, and for some reason the symmetry is kind of weird. Wait, let's just symmetrize it, right? And yeah, the symmetry was a little bit weird. I don't know why. I've started the sculpt with the symmetry, but yeah, we have this going on, and now we just need to make it look a little bit better. So you can see how the eyelids are. It goes straight up like this, and then it just starts going down. So we're gonna be using this as a reference and basically start creating this shape. So I'm just gonna do that. So you can see it is going up, and then it is gonna go down like this, and then from the bottom it is gonna go up, and then kind of like this. So you can see that we have created the eyelid nice from the front. Obviously it's not the best looking eye area, but we are only talking about the opening of the eye. If you want to, you can actually just mark it a little bit better. So yeah, right, so this is what we have, and I'm just going to be pushing it in. So this is what we have, and now what we need to do, we need to make sure that the placement of these like the landmark of the eyeball is actually correct. I'm keep on saying eyeball, I actually should have said eyelids. So what I'm saying is, if you were to look at an eyelid from the side, the outermost area should be this one, and then we should have this, and then this, and then this. And we are kind of following the same thing, but we also need to change the shape of it a little bit. It needs to look like that these eyelids are basically surrounding an eyeball. So what I'll do, I'll just use the grab brush and make it round from the top. So let's just push it out and make it look like that it is a rounder eyeball that it is surrounding. So I'm just gonna do that. And this area is supposed to go back, so let's just push it back, and let's just push it out. Yeah, nice. I guess we have something similar going on. Now remember that this guy is actually going to be old, so I don't know. Oh, there it is, an older sculpt. Nice. So we're gonna have to create the eye bag area, and I totally forgot that I have an older guy reference. Don't you worry, in the future I'm gonna be start adding some references for an older guy, but right now we are only blocking it out, so we don't really have to do it right now. So I'm just gonna be start adding an eye bag like this. You can see right over here, I'm just gonna start adding an eye bag area. So this eye bag area is just gonna be added by using the clay strip brush, and then just start adding these volumes. You can see that it goes towards here, which means we can like mark it. You can see how the upper eyelid, yeah, I also forgot to say this, the upper eyelid basically comes on top of the lower eyelid. So what you can do, you can just use the clay strip brush and basically just do that. So add some volumes on the upper eyelid and make it look like that it is going over the top of the lower one. So yeah, just do that. And you can also just use the draw sharp brush to exaggerate that, and then just smooth it out. So now it looks like that the upper eyelid basically comes on top of the lower one, and this is one of the things that we actually need to do. And now I'm just gonna start using the clay strip brush and start adding the eyelid area. So I'm just the eye bag area. I'm just gonna keep on adding the volume, and we have this. So yeah, it is actually looking good. We can smooth it out. You can, if you want, you can mark this stuff. For example, you can use the draw sharp brush and you can start marking the eyelid. So yeah, you can basically just separate it out. You can mark this stuff. Also just mark this, right? And if you want to just go in and mark the eyelid thickness, so do something like that as well if you want to. Totally up to you. In the future we are eventually gonna be doing that anyway, so yeah, just do that. And now what you can do, if I think I can. Okay, I cannot find it in here because the guy is it an expression? I totally don't know, but we also need to fill up this particular area. If I can find a reference maybe. Okay, yeah, you can see that we have this particular volume right over here. I don't know if you can see it. Wait, maybe in the flat head area you can see that. Yeah, there it is. You can see that we have this volume that goes in the eye area. We're gonna have to add that volume. So let's just use the clay strip brush and basically start adding this volume right over here. So I'm just gonna do that. And one thing that you also need to do, because this is an older skinny guy, we might not have to do it as much. So I'm just going to add it a little bit and then I'm just gonna start blending it. So yeah, kind of like this. Just blend it like this and you should be good to go, right? Yeah, I think it is good enough. Now I can just start adding some volumes to blend the eyelid with the head itself. So I'm just gonna add these volumes and yeah, it is, I guess, good to go. So we have the eyes. We don't have the eyeballs yet, but we're gonna be adding those as well. If you want to, you can add a little bit of like the eye corner. What do you even call it? I forgot the word for it. I'm not gonna do that. It looks a little bit weird right now. And by the way, all these wrinkles that you are seeing, I have lost the reference. Oh, there it is. So you can see all these wrinkles right over here. We're gonna be adding those, but not right now. Obviously, we're just blocking things out. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that later. One thing that I wanna do is I basically wanna add this line right over here. It is something that that is gonna separate out your fold from the eye area, and it is just gonna make it look a little bit better. Sometimes what happens is this particular fold also gets separated. You can see that we have this separation right over here, but I'm not gonna add that right now because right now we are only blocking out stuff and we still have not figured out the design yet. So we also need to figure out whether the design of our character is good or not, and we also need to polish stuff around. So I'm just gonna be removing this volume and adding this volume to basically polish the cheekbones a little bit. I kind of wanna add the cheekbone right over here as well. I also wanna like flatten this part out and make it look like that it is going like this. So wait, let me just, so I kind of want the cheekbones to go like this, right? And go like this. So yeah, let's just do that and smooth it out. Yeah, now it looks like that this part is going in. So yeah, it is good. Nice. Now we need to fix the lips. So I'm just going to smooth it out first, because it just doesn't look that good. And now use the scrape brush. I'm going to flatten this part out. Yeah. Now what we'll do, we'll actually just start creating the lips. So first thing first, I'm gonna be using the draw sharp brush and basically carve this part out and create something like this. I'm going to push this up and push this down. And then I kind of want the lips to be a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to be pushing this up and pushing this a little bit like this. And now let's use the draw sharp brush. I'm going to decrease the strength actually. So let's just try 0.4. And I'm going to be marking the border of the lips out like this. And yeah, you can just do that. I'm gonna do this as well. So this is the lips, but obviously we're gonna have to polish them. So these are the lips, right? And one of the first volume on the upper lip is this one. So if I can mark it, this is the volume that we're gonna have to add, and then this is going to be the second volume. So the lips have these two volumes, and then on the bottom lip we basically have the same thing going on. Let me mark it a little bit better, but kinda like this. So we have three volumes on the top, one, like 1, 2, 3, and then on the and then on the bottom we have 4, 5. So on the bottom we have 2, and on the top we have 3. So we're gonna be using this info, and we're gonna be just adding those volumes. So I'm just gonna be adding the top one first, and this part is supposed to go in a little bit. It looks a little bit weird, so we're gonna have to fix that as well. So let's just add this volume, and you can see from the side whether the curve is looking good or not. And by the way, when you are adding the volume here, make sure that this part gets flat as you go in. So you can clearly see that over here you have this line, and I'm just gonna show you that, don't you worry, just do this. First add the volume kind of like this. So yeah, you can see we have this volume, and then the same volume on the bottom. Okay, so we have these volumes, right? And I also need to add something like this. I have to lower down the strength, so something like this. And yeah, okay, so now the next thing would be, if you have seen the lips of the people, you're gonna realize that there is a line like this that goes around, so like this, and then it just goes like this, and then it goes inside, so something like this. And you basically can see the same thing going on over here, a line that goes inside. Same thing happens with the bottom lips, but with the bottom one it just goes parallel until the end. So just do that, and I'm going to be adding some volumes right over here as well. Okay, so we have the lips, but obviously they are not super polished yet. That's why they are not looking that nice. So we're gonna have to like polish them in the future, but right now I think it is good. We just need to make sure that all the volumes are working nicely. For example, this needs to go in like this, and we're gonna have to polish this like this. Let's just, so you can clearly see right over here, we need to use the draw sharp and basically have this. And do you know what, we can actually just follow this reference. We can push this part down, we can push this up, and we can just do that. So yeah, let's just do this and basically just follow this reference and use the clay strip to have that. Nice. Okay, now the next thing would be to add the chin area, because we still have not added the chin area, right? So you can use the draw sharp brush and basically just remove the chin like this. And you usually have 3 shapes in the chin. So the first shape is going to be this, and then the second and third shape is going to be like this. So you can see right over here, and then you're gonna have a muscle that goes like this. So if I can show it to you, maybe there'll be, yeah, you can see right over here. So this is the muscle that goes like this, right? And we're gonna have to add that right over here. So I'm just gonna be adding that muscle like this. Yeah, so we're gonna be adding this volume, and yeah, let's just blend this a little bit better. Don't you worry, we are gonna be polishing all of this stuff in the future. So if you feel like that it is not looking that good, that's because first we need to polish it. Second, we also need to do a little bit of tweaking in the design. Obviously this design is not gonna be the final one. I have just blocked out a face. In the future videos I'm just gonna be start pushing and pulling the face to basically create a design that looks good. And yeah, you can see that we have added these. So let's just smooth it out and let's see how it looks. So the last thing that we need to do in this video is to just add the eyeball, and yeah, then we'll be done with this video. We also need to do the ears and stuff, but yeah, right now I guess we are done. All the fixing that we're gonna have to do, we can just do that in the polishing video. We also need to do the body and the neck and everything. So yeah, we can just do that in the future. Let's just smooth out all the weird stuff first. And yeah, the last thing would be to add the eyeball. So just do that. I'm gonna be using the UV sphere, obviously. Rotate and just put it right over here. So right now the proportions are not that important, like how big the eyeball are supposed to be, because it's a stylized character. So it doesn't matter how big of an eyeball you really want the character to have. I think this big should be good enough. I'm going to scale it down a little bit and push it a little bit closer. And now the last thing would be to adjust the eyelid according to the eyeball. So I'm gonna be using the grab and just start pushing it in the place. So I'm just going to push this out. For example, I'm going to be pushing this out. I'm going to be pushing this out, and let's just push this part out. So yeah, let's just do that. Nice. Okay, pushing and pulling have kind of ruined the eyeballs a little bit, but yeah, we can just fix that pretty easily. Actually, for this part, we can use the, where is it, the sharper fall off. So just use that and you should be good to go. So you can see that we have created the eyelid, and yeah, I guess it is looking good. We just have to push. Wait, I think the sharper is not that good. I guess I'm gonna use the sharp, and let's just make it yeah, so just do that. Okay, we have this, and again we're gonna have to polish everything in the future videos. Right now I guess it is okay. So yeah, I guess in the future, wait, in the next video we're gonna be doing the body. I totally forgot. So I'm going to use the mirror, and we have a face. So it is not polished, but we have something that we can push and pull to basically design a face. And but before we do that, we're gonna be creating a body. So yes, I'm just gonna see you in the next one. Bye bye.